things are definitely hotting up around the Manchester United transfer situation right now. Earlier on, just in the last hour or so, actually, we had confirmation pretty much. Nobody's brave enough to come out and say what's necessary and what is actually happening, but we all know. And Sky have pretty much rubber stamped it earlier on. Another 4 journalists, to my reckoning, have come out after Sky's report earlier on saying Matheus Cunha to Manchester United. Rubber stamped. Here we go. Is incoming from the big guns. Expect it very, very soon. But past that, there has been even more news for Manchester United. And it's probably even more significant in terms of what Manchester United really, really need. If you're looking at absolute quality, you're looking at the best that there is. We have an update on Victor GYOKERES, which will get all Manchester United fans very, very excited. What about Davide Fratese, a midfielder at Inter Milan? I can't see that happening, but updates on that report as well and what's going on there. A Mastantuono update, also Emi Martinez update. What's happening with Bruno Fernandes? A tweet that's gone out in the native tongue in Saudi Arabia has been translated into a meeting after the Europa League final. We'll talk about that as well. There's so much to get through, but we want to start tonight by, of course, getting your input and your comments in the live comment section, please, everybody. If you want to catch up tonight, then please do drop your comments in the comment section below when the video is finished. We'll get through all of them. Give me your thoughts on everything, all of the news, everything that is going on right now at Manchester United. If all the reports from Cunha to GYOKERES right now, Bruno Fernandes. If you want to talk about Fratese and if he is the right midfielder that United should be looking at, there is an update coming from Matteo Moretto on that one as well from the Italian side of things. And again, like everything that's going on right now, barring Matheus Cunha, is very, very dependent on Wednesday night. But the big one, and the most significant one out of all, is a change of tune, U-turn, whatever you may think of it, whatever you want to call it. It's Ruben Amorim's mind from what he said previously about Victor GYOKERES and the players like that not wanted at Manchester United, as in, like, you've got to come if you want to play for Manchester United, not just because of the competition they're in. We all know the story. We've been reporting that United cannot look at any player like that. I think I said exactly the same thing this morning. I said, look, United cannot be picky in these situations. We're not the big gun anymore. Cunha was a bonus, an absolute bonus for Manchester United. Victor GYOKERES, and now this report has come out from Ben Jacobs and Alex Crook from TalkSport saying that Manchester United manager, head coach Ruben Amorim now being the key word in this, wants Victor GYOKERES, and United are pushing for this deal. You can see it going across the bottom of your screen there. That's the latest to come out on the Victor GYOKERES situation and why Manchester United all of a sudden now are looking at GYOKERES above everybody else. I think it's quite key that if United are going to go in this summer, then they have to go in for the best that there is. The younger players will come. The younger players are always going to be there. The potential market is one that is always there and of cheaper value right now. There aren't often opportunities like, and I think this is where this has come from. All of a sudden, we got the news in the last couple of days from Fabrizio Romano saying that the deal to take Victor GYOKERES away from Sporting is going to cost the club 55 million. He wants to go to the Premier League. I'm sorry. If it's 30 plus add-ons, whatever it is, for Liam Delap, and it's 55 million for Victor GYOKERES, I mean, Delap may be a good striker in the future. I said go buy them both. If we win the Champions League, then maybe that is on. But literally, getting into the Champions League can buy you Victor GYOKERES outright on its own. United are negotiating and want Victor GYOKERES. That's the story coming out of TalkSport right now. That adds so much interest and intrigue into the whole situation around what's happening with Arsenal, like we said earlier on. Are they fully in? Are they as deep into negotiations as we the first thought from what reports were saying? We did pick up on another report from Ben Jacobs that was saying that they were looking at Alexander Isak as well and waiting out until the end of the season. And my point and my view on this morning was that just gives United time to at least get through the Europa League final. And look, if we don't win it, then we may not be able to even negotiate. But if we are, and we do win that trophy, and we're into the Champions League, you might as well get a deal already lined up, ready to go for Victor GYOKERES, and just go out and get him. I think that's where Manchester United are positioning themselves right now. So United are going for GYOKERES like they can go for him, I think, is what's happening right now. Whether we're in the Champions League or not, they're still going to negotiate exactly the same deal as they need to get him done if we're in if we're in the Champions League, to say. And I think this is important for United to be done. We need to be like we have been with Matheus Cunha, proactive, ready to go. And we've never had a full June where transfers have gone so crazy, but this is like a totally different transfer window this season, obviously, and it's all changed because of the new competition, the Club World Cup. But United now, from what TalkSport are saying, in going all in on Matheus Cunha as their striker, you've got to be excited by that. And yes, it may just fall flat on its face because we may get beat by Spurs on Wednesday night. But the fact that we're actually looking into this, there's so much then riding on Wednesday night because of this result. I think you can actually start to get intrigued by the final even more and what might come. And I heard Jamie Carragher talking earlier on Sky when he was saying that who needs this more? Who is this trophy more important for? And he analysed it perfectly. He broke it down exactly as it is, which is, for a trophy, it's Spurs. And for the importance of the overall thing, United not too bothered about a trophy. It's the importance for the football club and where we move on from here. Because this, in terms of the Champions League, would be bigger for Manchester United in their current predicament than Spurs winning a trophy. Spurs just go back to Spurs being Spursy again next season. United fall back even further from their massive fall-off. And that's the difference. He said it absolutely perfectly. The game for Manchester United is more about what comes after it. The cup for Spurs is Spurs winning a trophy for the first time in God knows how many years. That's the difference in that night on Wednesday for both clubs. And I think I think they sum that up perfectly. Because that's like what we're talking about now. We're not hearing about Spurs talking about the future and rebuilds and players coming in and players leaving as much. It's all United. Because United and this game, it has so much riding on it in terms of what happens past it for United more than Spurs. Spurs will just be open-top bus parades for about 2 weeks straight with a trophy in their hands, and then they'll just get down to normal business. United are ready to go. United want deals done, and the Champions League brings them that. They're reporting there it's like an instant 50 million quid in the bank account if you're in the Champions League. United don't lose the 10 million from Adidas. United get another minimum, I would say, 5 home games, gate receipts, the TV broadcasting revenues that come with that. Yes, player wages go up, but Manchester United are getting rid of a lot of players as well this summer. So to be negotiating on Victor GYOKERES now and going in for him, I think Manchester United have touched base. I think there probably has been contact. And again, like Matheus Cunha, Sky wouldn't come out and say that Matheus Cunha is leaving Wolves at the end of the season unless they knew something was going on behind the background. Like, Sky is slow with all of their news, but Sky are also making sure that they say the right thing when they do come out with news, which is they cannot really commit to the news as much as smaller journalists can. They can't get away with it. So them coming out today confirmed it, and then all of the journalists that came out after it pretty much did as well. I think we're getting quite close to a similar scenario here with Victor GYOKERES, except it doesn't move anywhere past Wednesday if it goes wrong. I really do think it is Champions League or bust for that signing. And United are just covering themselves and getting the deal already negotiated. And look, he could just pull the plug when he wants. But you know what? Why not try and negotiate it anyway? And then just say to him, if we don't win the final, look, that deal still stands. We'll move players around and we'll get you in. And you can be the face of Manchester United. Look, it may not happen in that. It may, no, I want Champions League, see you later. But show you're willing and show yourself in on this and getting in for Victor GYOKERES before it actually gets to that later stage of a yes or no. Like, show your commitment to the player. Give him what he wants. Look, this is with or without Champions League. We are giving you this. And if you don't succeed, if we don't, get back into Europe in the next couple of seasons or whatever, then you can be on your merry way to another Champions League club, and we will not get in the way of anything. We won't get in the way of any other deal that could possibly be in the pipeline for you. Like, that's what I think you could that's what I think you can do for players, and I think that's what the contract situations will develop like. I think the clauses that will be involved in them, I think, will be very, very complicated and detailed. I do believe there is an element to that in the contract that Matthias Cunha's agreed to. I really do. I think there will be a little get out. Like, he's all for Manchester United, but don't think that this player's not looking after himself as well in all of this. I think you're looking at a player here that's looking at a 2-year plan. United need to be back in playing at the top level at least. Like, it's a bonus next season. If United get into the Champions League by beating Spurs on Wednesday, expect United to spend a lot more money just to try and stay in there. The plan all of a sudden fast forwards into overdrive, and it goes on to another level because United cannot just line up in the Champions League and expect just to turn up and make up the numbers. They will be expected to compete and get into the latter stages. Minimum for Manchester United would be the last 16 of the Champions League. Whether you think we're good enough or not, if you're in that competition, Manchester United will have to take it seriously and go all the way. And this is what Ruben Amorim has alluded to and been worried about. I think if he's confident in winning this Europa League final, he knows he's going to need the firepower to challenge in the Champions League, and he knows he needs better players. We brought you the update alongside Cunha at midday, along with Edison's involvement in what's happening there. Now, I'm just going to try and run through as much news as possible and then come into the comment section, so keep your comments flying in, because there's an awful lot to get through tonight with everything going on. Now, Davide Fratesi, the central midfielder from Inter Milan, the passion merchant. I'm not saying a passion merchant in the way that he hasn't got quality to back it up. This man is a stonewall in the side for Inter Milan. He is an Inzaghi go-to. He's contracted till 2028. The story from Matteo Moretti on Fratesi is that United are just looking in on this deal. And now, what was this I was likening this deal to the other day? I don't know. I can't remember which player it was, but I don't see this one. I don't see this materialising. I really don't. I think he is just that of important player, and he's still got 3 years left on his bleeding contract. So I don't know what United would have to spend. If you're going in for a midfielder, then you're looking for an energetic midfielder. And Fratesi is a quality player. Of course he is. And this is a man that has been, like I said, at the forefront. Doesn't score many goals, although when you look at the goals that he has scored this season, you look at the importance of them, I could just picture like the Roy Keane type of player. Scores in the quarterfinal against Bayern Munich. Scores in the semi-final against Barcelona. If you are looking to wait out a season and then start making an impact at the important stages, this man knows when to pick his moments. Put it this way, Champions League extra time winning goal in a 7-goal thriller against Barcelona in the San Siro is a pretty decent moment. Likewise in scoring away in Bayern Munich as well. So yes, this guy knows what it's like to perform on the big stage. If you're looking for commitment, if you're looking for quality, if you're looking for drive, passion, everything you would want, I don't think United can get him. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't see him leaving, to be honest, straight out. I don't. Unless Inter have got plans to replace him with somebody else coming in. Davide Fratesi is definitely a step up on Man United's midfield. He really is. United, you just don't get them players. We don't. And as much as I rate a player like him, I've never even gone into detail on looking into what he could bring United too much, because I don't believe we can get him. And Moretti, the journalist over there in Italy, has pretty much covered himself with what he's saying there as well in terms of United looking in. There is a part chance that Fratesi can leave Inter Milan this summer. We will see, won't we, on this one. Now, let's get through the other news regarding Bruno Fernandes. Now, there is a tweet that is out that is in Arabic, which is saying, and it's come from a well-renowned journalist who is well followed over in the Saudi Pro League, which says that the president of Al Hilal has meetings booked to discuss Bruno Fernandes coming to Al Hilal after the final against Spurs on Thursday. Now, we know that Ben Jacobs has said already that Bruno Fernandes has obviously got meetings booked, or his representation has got meetings booked. Now, we know that this was real, and we know it was going to be within a week's time, and Bruno would have a week to decide. That was the latest we touched on that, and we haven't gone back to it since because we've not heard anything. But apparently these meetings are happening this week. So that's the interesting one in all of this. I think this is where you are now looking at the possibility, if this is going to be a meeting and it is genuine, and don't get me wrong, like Fabrizio Romano, Simon Stone, they all follow this journalist over in Saudi Arabia. They all follow him, and he must be respected in that part of the world for news. I don't know him. I don't know any detail on it. But you look at who follows him, you look at the reporting. If Romano is following him and Simon Stone, then there is probably an element of it being true, and that there probably is an intention to meet with representations of Bruno. It doesn't say that that means that Bruno is going to be leaving Manchester United. There's nothing definite in this, but the sheer fact that there is meetings going on, like we said last time, has to be a concern for Manchester United fans, unless you want Bruno out. Obviously, if all of a sudden United are in for Victor Gyökeres, United are looking at all these other players. Is there somebody at Manchester United that's leaving? Fabrizio Romano earlier on today spoke about how Manchester United are looking for another 10, depending on players that move on. Now, obviously, there could be one of 2 or 3 players that move on. Apparently, there is a 35 million set buy option for Inter Milan for Joshua Zirkzee. Now, and then piecing things together again, and maybe there is something in for Daisy and Zirkzee and swapping and different deals going on. Like, look, you can let your mind run wild with every different possibility that could be going on in the transfer window right now with certain players. But one thing's for certain, look, we listen to the reports, we read them, we go into detail on them. Are they genuine? It's like when I ran the live show with Cunha earlier on. Sky wouldn't do that unless something has been said. Cunha is a red. It's done. Simple as. When you're looking at what Ben Jacobs is saying on the Saudi Pro League, he is the Saudi Pro League expert that everybody goes to for information going on. That is one thing that I will believe in what Ben Jacobs says. Some of his other stuff has been wide of the mark, like many other journalists have been. But Ben Jacobs on the Saudi Pro League knows a lot. And he said meetings will go on. And then Bruno has a week to answer them calls. I mean, this week is going to be very, very busy for Manchester United. On and off the pitch, obviously. Getting this season over with. Less than a week to go before this hell of a season is over. And we can start looking forward. I think this is pretty much now all coming to a crescendo. It's coming to an end. And I think United want to make a mark. I really do. I said earlier on in the little live show regarding the Cunha breaking news was that, yes, this is great and we've all known this is coming, but all Man United fans are looking at this board now and this management team and structure in place. It's like, right, okay, well done. You've got a good signing in, but no one's getting blown away by Matheus Cunha coming in. This has happened before with United and we've spent significant money on big players and a lot of them have failed, because the recruitment wasn't exactly where it needed to be. And we didn't build a team around a certain signing to, I would say, not to counter, but to back up that signing. So you bring in a Cunha, you're obviously looking at a certain type of characteristic to bring into a team and a style of play. Then you build another player, bring another player in around that, and you get rid of players that you know are not going to fit that and replace them with more players that you think will work in the system. And this is what hasn't happened before. So let's see what these guys have got at United. Let's see what this recruitment team is made of. And the next steps, I think, would be, right, okay, we know Cunha's coming in. We know we've got a final. We might not win the final. We might win the final. If we win the final, I think it's a different window. If we don't win the final, what are you going to do? Does that bring Bruno's sale from Manchester United into the equation? Is that what happens next? Is it a Garnacho? Is it somebody else? Romano said United are looking for another 10, dependent on players leaving the football club. So who is that going to be? I have got an update on Franco Mastantuono coming up, but I want to get into the comments section first of all on all of that starting news. Cunha, GYOKERES, Bruno Fernandes, Fratesi. They're your 4 talking points early doors in this one, everybody. So please do pile into the live comment section if you are live with us right now. And of course, at this point, from what we've said, some 20 minutes in. Everybody who's watching later on, give me your comments on them 4 players and what you think is going to happen with all of them. Mark Ash says, love the shows, Adam, but some of the people's comments here are actually delusional crazy. Mateta better than GYOKERES. Osimhen should be coming over GYOKERES. No wages of 400k a week. Jeez. Yeah, this is it, mate. This is the beauty of football debate. Some people don't rate GYOKERES. I've got a poll running right now, which I've asked the question, is GYOKERES the best forward United can get this summer? In that poll, which is creeping up to nearly 1,000 votes, by the way, 12% of the people in that vote have said that GYOKERES isn't the best forward that Manchester United can go for this summer. That might be a Victor Osimhen instead. They might like him instead. I don't think anybody's picking out Liam Delap over GYOKERES. Some people like Jonathan David. Some people, like you said there, like Mateta. I wouldn't put Mateta ahead of Victor GYOKERES. I wouldn't. If we get Martinez, Emerson, Cunha, GYOKERES or Osimhen with a clear out, that's a good summer. So I'm going to talk about Martinez as well. There's an update on him also as well coming in today. I will be more excited when we start getting rid of those waste of time footballers at our club, says Malcolm. A lot of people would agree on that. MB says, in my opinion, they need to hold fast on all transfer targets. Bruno and Nacho leaving changes everything. Tables turn, and United are now in control of what they do next. Best in class isn't Cunha, it's Wirtz. United are not going to go and spend 125 million on a player, mate. I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen. United won't go that far. And do you know what? Like, Bayer Leverkusen are quite within their rights. Manchester City have just pulled out of the Florian Wirtz deal because it's too much money. That's where United need to be. It's like, it looked nice. It would have been brilliant. But let's be honest, United are not going to spend. United are not going to break the British transfer record this summer. That's what we should say, really. I get what you're saying. But Cunha is a quality player for Manchester United. An absolute quality upgrade. And maybe it isn't about the one player coming in on a whole budget. It's about a bunch of players coming in. Maybe we are going to bring in the next Florian Wirtz or the next Bruno Fernandes in this transfer window. Maybe we could bring in somebody else. Maybe it is going to be Franco Mastantuono and United go down that road instead of spending absolute fortunes on one player. I just don't see United ever going in. Adam, as per usual, that's your opinion and isn't just as valid as mine. In what way, mate? Like I've just said, I don't think Manchester United are going to go out and spend all of their budget on one player. I don't. We cannot be going for Florian Wirtz, not knowing if we're going to be in the Champions League. Let's be realistic. We're buying a Premier League proven player, and I think that's the right move for us right now. If you want Florian Wirtz, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If we got him, I would jump up and down with you all day long, mate. I bounce around wherever you want, outside Old Trafford or any stadium in the world if we sign Florian Wirtz. You're right, he is the best out there. But reality tells you, United are way down the pecking order for getting him. I don't think he wants to be involved in this situation right now with the other teams that are bidding for him. It's just reality, that's all, mate. Simple as. Sure, Kate, it would be more than 19 million Cornish at the moment. That is true in a way, but not completely true. It is going to be a bit more inflated than that, according to the latest reports on Shirkey, but still cheap. And you're right, another option for Manchester United. So much to get through. Welcome to the renewed membership. Sabusio. I think that's Sabusiso. I think that's how you say. Cunha is quality. Rather spend that 100 million on Wharton. Wharton or Wirtz. I wouldn't spend 100 million on Adam Wharton. Definitely. I wouldn't spend 70 million on Adam Wharton, to be honest. I like the player. Like I like Florian Wirtz. But there's a limit to the reality of what United can do right now. And it isn't spending that amount of money on one player. Look, if United were in Liverpool's position, I'd be pushing it and saying, let's go out and get to that next level. We've just won the Premier League. We now need to challenge for winning the Premier League and the Champions League. That's the only upgrade, and that's the only way you can get any better. And that then warrants getting in the absolute cream of the crop. And the best out there is Florian Wirtz right now, if you're looking at what's going on in football terms and what he's doing numbers-wise, and how much quality that kid has got. He really is absolutely brilliant. And, yeah, I do get the fact that Manchester United would like to probably bring in them players, but I honestly just feel, from what's been said, I look at it and I say, I think the reality of it all kicks in, and United have done good business if we get Cunha in. Look, if you give me Cunha, if you give me GYOKERES, another 10, give me an 8 and a goalkeeper, I'm very, very happy. I think that is an outstanding summer for Manchester United. It really is. And yes, MB, right, seriously. United can't say they are in for the best in class and then stand by it while our biggest rivals challenge each other for Wirtz. You're contradicting yourself talking about Champions League there, chap. No, I'm not at all. Look, is Florian Wirtz being discussed right now by other clubs? Yes. Are each of them clubs discussing Florian Wirtz already guaranteed Champions League football? Yes. If on Thursday, MB, Manchester United are in the Champions League and they all of a sudden decide to enter the race for Florian Wirtz and want to spend that amount of money on him because they're guaranteed Champions League football, this argument, it's not an argument, this conversation goes on to another level. But Champions League isn't there for us yet. It's not. And we can't stand by and watch one of our competitors go for Wirtz. Are you really saying that we're challenging Liverpool right now? No, we're not, are we? Let's be honest. We're not. You cannot keep coming back with that and saying that Manchester United's competitors are going for a play. We can't stand by and watch them. We're nowhere near. I think we've all been honest with that. And we are lucky to get Cunha right now. That's how far United have fallen. Again, another reality hit, I'm afraid. We need a good squad and replace the deadwood. No expensive player won't solve our issues. We need to get depth, I think, is key as well. Depth for rotation of this system. If Ruben wants to drive this system home, it is massive. Another player that Manchester United need to replace is Andre Onana. I was thinking about this earlier on. The Emi Martinez story is genuine. It's genuine. Now that, I can safely say, is a best-in-class MB, best-in-class goalkeeper. And I think even you would agree with me on this one. Moving it on to Emi Martinez. Now, someone made a comment the other day saying, going from a 28-year-old Andre Onana to a 32-year-old Emi Martinez, and laughing emojis at me. I'm like, right, seriously, did you just say that? Did you just actually come back with that comment? I mean, come on. Like, at Manchester United right now, a 32-year-old Emi Martinez in our goals would be the difference. Would be a huge difference, I think, in terms of Manchester United's future. This man would propel Manchester United to a different level competitiveness-wise. And Manchester United is genuinely interested in Emi Martinez, by the way. I didn't believe in it. I made a case for this not happening because of his situation. What he's on at Villa, how much they've invested into him. But Barcelona have now dropped out, and that's the latest update. They're not in for Emi Martinez. They're in on ter Stegen, obviously, who's been injured all season, and him coming back. They're happy with Szczesny. I mean, Juan Laporta has come out and said they want to keep Szczesny. They have ter Stegen coming back, and they're happy with their situation. So one big gun out of the window when it comes to Manchester United's competitors. Now, the Saudi Pro League is obviously the big one in all of this, and Villa will get absolute fortunes for Emi Martinez there. That's the only way. Like, where does Emi Martinez want to go? Does he want to stay in the Premier League? Does he want another challenge? Does he want to be number one at Manchester United? That's what we're looking at right now. That's the question that you've got to ask him. Like, if he's happy to leave, and Villa, like some Villa fans have come on the channel and actually commented and said that there is a serious PSR issue at Villa right now that they're battling against, and it does look like Emi Martinez is leaving Villa this summer. I still don't see it. I mean, I'm looking at John Duran being sold, and they've gone all in on trying to make Champions League, and maybe if they make Champions League, they don't need to sell Emi Martinez. I don't know. Like, how much would you spend on Emi Martinez for one? if United make Champions League, I think we could push the boat out a bit on a goalkeeper. If Martinez wanted to come to United, and say, for instance, he was 35, 40 million quid for him, I make that happen. For a 32-year-old goalkeeper, that is very, very good money. I would spend 40 million on Martinez. I 100% would. And I think he would be Manchester United's United's goalkeeper for the next 8 to 10 years, because that's how long goalkeepers can last. They're a different animal altogether. And 32 for a goalkeeper, that's a keeper that's just entering his prime. So, yeah, you go out and spend that much money. That's future-proofing your goalkeeping situation, and you're not worrying anymore. And I just wanted to bring the update up on this, because it still riles me right now. And I didn't bring it up the other day, and I forgot, and I was really pissed off with myself for not mentioning it, because all you Ten Hag lovers who think I've got an agenda against him would have jumped on me on this one. But it was Ten Hag who, Graham, vetoed, yes, I got you, the deal that United could have gone in and got Martinez for. Ten Hag didn't want Emi Martinez. He wanted Andre Onana. Oh, God, that man. Honestly, that summer, what was going through his mind and Manchester United's minds that summer? Wow, we had a good season. We qualified for the Champions League and we won a trophy, and then we went and pissed it up the wall in that transfer window. Good God, that was bad. I would go and spend that money. Get him in. Get him in. By all means, you've got to obviously spread the cost. You've got other areas of the pitch that are most important right now, but you could have the goalkeeping situation settled then for years to come. That's how good Emi Martinez is. And again, I reiterate what I said at the start of this piece. I don't think it's possible. I don't. But if there is any slightest chance of opportunity of getting him in through the door, spend the money. Spend the money and get him. That's all I'm saying on Emi Martinez. And I think that makes complete sense for United. It really does. It has to, doesn't it? It does. Let's get some more comments in on this one. Someone who dominates the box in goal and organises the defence. I'd take Martinez any day. Any day. Yes, I agree with that one. I do. Bro, what? Haha, the guys won a World Cup. I think Greg was actually commenting on someone else there, actually, on this one. United as a project is just as big as any team in the Premiership. The history, new stadium, sleeping giant being a key part of the new structure and rebuild. It's a project that can be sold easily. It can be sold easily, and we're waiting to see what this recruitment team and this management team can do. Go out and prove yourselves to us. I've said this all along. Look, if United want to go out and surprise us and get players that we didn't think were doable, that we're discussing right now, go for it. I just look at the history of how Manchester United have operated, the debt that we're in, how we're struggling with the wages right now, PSR going against us. If we're not in the Champions League, blah, 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 blah. I think the reality is we've done well to get Cunha in. We do well to bring in someone like Milinkovic-Savic in goal. We can go out and try and get these players. And that takes us to the next point, because in terms of Manchester United and the project, Jason Wilcox is 100% confident that Manchester United can get Franco Mastantuono, and they are pushing hard on this deal. That's the report that came out earlier on today. Franco Mastantuono is a realistic top target for Manchester United, and they are fully prepared to spend 38 million on him. Now, this goes into the realm of, don't jump down my throat on this one. Some people will. This is your Florian Wirtz type of transfer right here, but in advance. Because this kid is going to go to one of the big guns, and he is going to absolutely smash it at one of the big guns. Why not Manchester United? We cannot afford the likes of Florian Wirtz right now, unless we sell big names. Look, if you sell Bruno Fernandes, you get in the Champions League. Florian Wirtz is affordable. I get it, but we need other players. And there are just as good of players out there in other areas, not in Wirtz's position, but in, say, for midfield, where we do need a driving midfielder. I think that's key for United. I'm okay in terms of prioritising another 10 that's not quite on the level as Florian Wirtz. But we've got enough there still as well, I think. If you bring in Cunha, I think that helps Manchester United. One more 10, my God. GYOKERES up front, get me an 8, get me a keeper. I said it a moment ago, I think that's massive. Franco Mastantuono is the next best thing to come out of Argentina and is going to be the next generational talent that everybody's banging on about. And United are looking to sign him. That's where United's next best-in-class claims can come forward. They're looking at the younger markets more than anything else. And they're not going to go out. I just don't think... Look, I might be wrong. There is only what I think and what I see happening. But off what I've read, what I've watched, the reports that are out, I don't think United are going to break the British transfer record for a playoff. They're not going to do it. I think that's the highest high possibility, and that is highly likely. It's not United's game anymore. They're not going to do it, but they will spend a lot. They're not any other club on the younger players that they know they can get future value for. Worst case scenario, they did it with Lenny Yoro. They spent over 50 million on an 18-year-old centre back. They will go out and spend 38 million on an 18-year-old forward, which is terrorising defences in the South American and the Argentinian league. They will go that far. That's Manchester United's claim to getting the best in class. It's not the best in class that's already prevailed and is playing in top level football. It's the best in class in prospects. That's all I think Manchester United can do when it comes to transfers. And I do believe that Franco Mastantuono is one of them players that, looking at what's out there, looking at the reports on this kid, looking at who everybody else that's in for him, like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Juventus, everyone wants him. And he wants to wait and see what Real Madrid do. Now, United have gone in and said, bang, there's your bleeding money, River Plate, let's deal. United are pushing this. And there is, from these reports, and there's been several of them now, and let's not forget that Jason Wilcox will go above and beyond to make a deal happen. His reputation is obviously on the line with what work happens at Manchester United this summer, like everybody else's. He's already gone out to South America and nailed down the Diego Leon deal, got that over the line. United will push the boundaries for younger players. That's one thing that The Athletic have reported, and it's a great article from Laurie Whitwell on this as well, regarding what Manchester United's angle is on the transfer window this season. They understand fully about the ready-made players that are needed, but they won't defer or move away from their project of bringing in the best young talent that's out there. They feel like this is where United have fallen down over the last decade and fallen behind other clubs, and now they're looking at this as their main goal going forward for Manchester United. They have to be at the forefront of all of the best talent that is coming through. United used to be this way, and United need to get back to being that way. Let me know on that one. Like, how far would you go when it comes to a youngster like that? The prospect side of things scares a lot of Manchester United fans because they're scared of spending money on someone that isn't going to come into United and do well without knowing. Like, honestly, like, you look at what Lenny O was doing at Lille. Like, everybody was after him. We know everyone was after him. Nobody was after Rasmus Højlund. Nobody was after him. And I know everyone gets scared by that deal. It's a lot of money. And this is where people will have an argument. Look, United will spend a lot of money. Look what we did with Harry Maguire. Look what we did with Rasmus Højlund. Yeah, I get it. I do. I understand we have spent that kind of money before. And we probably could afford it if we pushed ourselves. But I think the sensible way of looking at it and operating is by trying to find better deals that suit United. And that's where recruitment teams come in. United beforehand have just not done this. Red Terry says, I think in a bizarre way that we have more to offer these young stars than other big clubs due to the fact that our current squad is utterly shite and know they'll get game time and not bench warmers. No, I've said this before, mate. You've pretty much taken the words out of my mouth what I've been banging on about before, Red Terry, on that one. Like, I think United prospects of bringing these players in and giving them that starring role, the future of this football club, like what MB said, I think, earlier on. Selling the project of Manchester United is easier for the recruitment team. 100,000-seater stadium, performing in the Champions League, one of the best venues around the history of Manchester United. You could be part of becoming the new Man United. You're going to be the star walking out into that 100,000-seater stadium, one of the best on the planet, representing the new age of Manchester United. It should be easy to sell this to clubs because United have got the pedigree. We've got the history. It should be easy to sell this to players, sorry. We've got the pedigree and history to back it up. And that does carry a lot of weight when it comes to players moving. United do still have that appeal to a lot of European players, a lot of British players as well. And I do think that we are going down that road with this. But I just think they're being very, very, very precise and very clever with this stage of their development and Manchester United's restructuring and rebuilding of this squad. I do. Fans think we spend 100 to 140 million on Wirtz. It's everything we've got in the window. Nope, sales plus cash available. It's quite easy, not even taking into consideration structuring payments of deals. Look, we've said this before. If United wanted to go out and spend 100 million on a player and pay him 200 grand a week wages, in PSR terms, I've been very clear about this. This is how it is structured. That will cost Manchester United £20 million a year on a 5-year package. United can afford to go out and spend 100 million on a player. They can do if they want to. I just don't think they want to. Just going off what it is. Like, we can go out and make these deals happen. But I think United are scared of what's happened before. I think they want to make a statement in that Manchester United develop their own. They want to invest in the younger players. Remember what Sir Jim Ratcliffe said at the start, and I know I always go back to that quote. We don't want to buy Kylian Mbappe. We want to develop and create and find the next Mbappe. And this is why I know that Manchester United will go into the younger market rather than go out and spend it on a world-class player that's ready to go. Like, for that amount of money, look, if there's a world-class player ready to go for United that they can afford, that wants to come to the club, they're all in, yeah. I get it, I do. But I just don't think it's going to happen. And that is only my opinion, I know. But still, like, you tell me what you've seen that tells you and convinces you that this is going to happen at this football club right now. And that, I feel, is, again, going back to that same word, like, the reality check United really need. And I do believe this fan base has actually gone down that road now and understands where we're actually at. I do. God, my God, how did the time go down to that? Well, seriously, man. Proper football talk. It flies by, doesn't it? I can see loads of people getting their comments in. We really need Osimhen, GYOKERES, Liam Delap, Edison, Ryan Shirky, Matthews Cunha, the next transfer summer window. You mean this one, Amir? You probably definitely mean this one because you mentioned Delap and Matthias Cunha on that as well. Quickly, just to update you on I did mention it lightly earlier on, the Joshua Zirkzee situation with Inter Milan. Now, Joshua Zirkzee, by the way, has a chance of making the bench against Spurs on Wednesday. Yes, that is a report going around. Crazy, isn't it? I know. But yeah, he has got a chance. But Inter Milan are interested in Zirkzee, and there is a 35 million option to buy him off the loan that they're offering United. We're only saying this because Romano said today that United are looking for another 10. And another 10 on top of Matthias Cunha, who's been confirmed today. That, I think, is why everybody's looking at Zirkzee. Why I brought up the report coming from Saudi Arabia on Bruno Fernandes. Why we're talking about possibly Mason Mount going out on loan. I think this is where all of this comes in. And I think that there is still plenty of business for Manchester United to do. Doubt Bruno will go. Hope we get deals done quick, says Anthony Ong. We've just renewed his membership. And yeah, gifted membership as well from London as always. Thank you very much for that one, my friend. Love that. Evening to everybody who is joining us. Wirtz is 21, says Modern Samurai. Yeah, the conversation is going to continue. I have done a piece on Florian Wirtz. Manchester City have just dropped out of the race for Florian Wirtz because he's too expensive for them. They have a limit and they're not going past it. Liverpool, however, are more than interested in Florian Wirtz, and something could be done. It really could. And again, as a United fan, you've got to look at it and say, like, are you looking at the Liverpools, Arsenals, Cities, Chelseas of this world and saying that's where we should be? We need to be competing at that level. Or have you accepted that Manchester United have dropped so far that we need to rebuild from the bottom up and it's going to take a bit longer? United in time may be in for players like Florian Wirtz. I just don't think we're in for him now. I really don't. I don't think United are there. I have just said that United would invest in the younger talent now. Now, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and if Manchester United win the Europa League and are in the Champions League next season, we can more than afford to go out and buy a Florian Wirtz. We can make that deal happen structurally. Easily, in fact. It just depends if they want to. That's the only thing. But United are after another number 10. Can you imagine if we went out and spent 180 million quid on Matheus Cunha and Florian Wirtz, and then he went out and bought Victor GYOKERES, and that rounded it up to 235 million quid for them three players. Just under $250,000 to completely reshape and form the best forward line in the Premier League, without a doubt. Do you think Manchester United would do that? Look, if you sold Bruno Fernandes, if you sold Alejandro Garnacho, and all of the players that we're talking about that are already on the cusp of leaving Manchester United, and you've got Champions League, yeah, you could. At Dreamland, I know, but reality, I think, my reality is that United are probably not going to do that. The reality is that you can afford it if you want to. And this is the point I put across before. Like, what do Manchester United fans take from this summer? Like, what do you expect United to do that's going to convince you that change is coming? Is it them sorts of deals, or is it buying in 6 or 7 players at the right price, at the right age, that we've recruited properly? I haven't got a problem in recruiting younger, talented, cheaper players. I haven't got a problem in bringing in the Brian and Mbumos of this world to Manchester United and players like that. I like that sort of transfer networking and recruiting. I do. That's just me, though. That is just me. Look, there is no one definite way that Manchester United fix things. Ineos have got their way, and I think they will stick to it. Ruben has already hinted that Manchester United are already well on track with what they want to do this summer. And we did talk about at the top of the show that United have now entered the race to sign Victor GYOKERES. I think would be an absolute blockbuster signing for Manchester United if we got that done. But at 55 million, surely that deal for United has to at least be attempted. And TalkSport are saying that United are now pushing on that deal and are definitely going to compete alongside Arsenal for the signature of the Swedish striker. And I do believe that Ruben could pull the strings there. It is apparently him that is now pushing on this deal to happen. And Ruben wants his man. He wants Victor GYOKERES as his striker. That's the report and the latest report to come out tonight. Manchester United also monitoring Davide Fratesi from Inter Milan. I've sort of wide-berthed that deal. I don't see that happening. But there is a bit part chance, according to Matteo Moretti over in Italy, that Inter Milan will sell Fratesi this summer. Don't think so. But, yes, the update on Emi Martinez as well is that Barca are dropping out. And Manchester United are up against the Saudis if they want to buy him. And Villa are open to selling him. I still, again, like another deal that I can't see. But if there's a chance, spend big. That is right up there with one of the best transfer signings that Manchester United can make. If you brought me GYOKERES and Emi Martinez in one window, oh my God. I would literally, I would be outside Old Trafford, I would bow down. Like, to get them deals done, that would be the ultimate transfer window right there. It really would. Look, in the show tonight alone, we've had well over 300 likes. I'm loving the positive vibe building up. We are 2 days away from crunch time, when all of these decisions are going to be very, very clear, and how they develop from Wednesday night onwards will be a lot clearer to all of us. And I think it's really exciting for us all to actually be involved in this and watch this. Get your popcorn out ready, everyone. This week is going to be one hell of a ride. But yes, Cunha agreed and in the bag for Manchester United. Now in for Victor GYOKERES. Chance of signing Emi Martinez. Future of Bruno Fernandes decided by the end of this week. Xerxes on loan with an option to buy for Inter Milan. There's a strange one. Mastantuono, Wilcox wants and he's going all out for. All of that to digest and get your comments in on when the comment section finishes. When the live show finishes, get into the comment section on that, everybody, please. Also, everyone, I have got quickly again our new kit partner is in the house now. We've confirmed it. We have run it over the last few days as well. I'm just dropping the link in the live chat right now. Any shirt that you want across all of Europe and all of the leagues around the world pretty much. In fact, they have got some cracking retro South American shirts in there as well. That there is now pinned up in the live comment section as well, everybody. OK Jerseys is our shirt sponsor. So please do get involved in that. If you want to go and buy the new Man United shirt, that is there as well. All the training tops. If I told you you could get them for as little as 15 quid, would you get them? Yes, you would. I've worn the quality myself. I'll wear another one over the next couple of days just to show you guys what it's like and prove that it is genuine and it is real quality at the great prices. If you use my link in the live chat right there, then it will add the discount automatically for you and you will see the prices as they are on every single shirt in the shop. Get to it now, everybody. Honestly, there is some mega deals in there. Brilliant shirts and some absolutely cracking retro ones. The United catalogue on its own is extensive. It's brilliant. Go check them out, everyone. I can verify that and say that it is the real deal. I've had plenty of stuff already myself just to test it out before I put it out here on the channel for everyone to have a go with. It is real. Go for it, everyone. Get on that link. Cheap as chips and top quality, everyone. So please do on that. We are running a special match bingo for the final, everybody. It is an FUTV winner takes all match bingo. I'm going to bring you more information on that. But if you scan the QR code on the screen right there, you will be directed straight to our very own Forever United TV game where only winners will come from FUTV membership, FUTV subscriptions. That's it. So the pot is up to 350 quid. We need to sell a certain amount of tickets for it. So get involved and get involved in that actual final. It's going to be a special on Wednesday night for us all, where we're going to be giving at least 350 quid away to one. Oh, no, actually, it could be spreading it out between a few different subscribers of FUTV. I'll give you more information on that tomorrow, everyone, anyway. But there are the things that are bubbling up in the background right now as well. Again, massive thank you to all of the mods on the channel, everyone involved, again, in the chat today. It's been absolutely brilliant. Let's just double check that we haven't got any other news coming out right now. Mark Ogden's just come out with an actual tweet now that says, despite support from those above him at United, sources in and around the club have said that Amorim has continually questioned himself and also the club's ability to overhaul the first team squad to his satisfaction. Ooh. More could come on that. Amorim was prepared to resign in January after a bad run of games, but got talked out of it by associates. That is interesting, isn't it? Very interesting indeed. But yeah, right, we'll go into that. Let's just get a couple more. Actually, there is a little bit more just on the... Actually, going to bring it up now on Victor GYOKERES. United, unlike other players such as Victor GYOKERES, Matheus Cunha has chosen United regardless of the outcome of the season. The transfer is as good as done. High price, but player who fully identifies with the task. On GYOKERES, he did not choose Manchester United yet, but the club only has a chance at all if it wins the Champions League. So that pretty much confirmed from Christopher Michael as well on the Matheus Cunha and Victor GYOKERES combined. So much news. I will touch more on the situation with Ruben Amorim there and some interesting Mark Ogden quotes in the morning. Don't really want to be talking down and downbeat on everything building up to the final, but we will and always keep you up to date with everything going on. Quick one there as well on JJ Gabriel that's just come in. Tipped by Manchester United insiders to become the youngest ever player of the football club, as in making it onto the scene very, very early, like maybe 16. We'll see. United obviously trying to work on JJ Gabriel and keeping him at the football club. He's attracting a lot of interest elsewhere. Generational talents, this kid takes it to the next level. He really does. So United making moves, it would seem. But that is the end of the show, everybody. Thank you so much again for joining us. Absolutely brilliant and brilliant comments throughout. Well over 350 live likes. That's probably the best we've had in a while as well. So congratulations to you all. Thank you. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Sorry. I'll see you all in the morning. Fantastic show, everyone. Can't believe we've gone on for nearly 55 minutes there. But that is the end now. Subscribe to Forever United TV for all of your updates and match info around United. And, of course, make sure you pop a like on the video before you leave the room. And that will do us. I'll see you all at 8 o'clock, unless we get any more breaking news tonight. I hope